Hello, Hiral.
Hello, Joanne.
Finally,
Finally, yes.
after lots of hard work trying to get together on Instagram Live, we finally made it to Zoom. So,
Yes. And how does it get better? And what's right about this, I wonder.
yeah,
So let's begin.
yay. So, riches, your journey to riches. So, one of the things I wanted to chat about was maybe like a little bit.
So before you go ahead, I would like to introduce Joanne. Joanne is a Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and she's also Talk to the Entities CF and Right Riches for You CF.
Thank you.
And it's just been like a wow journey for both of us. I'm also a Right Riches for You CF, and my name is Hiral Ghaghda, of course. So it's been like a wow journey for both of us, and I would really like to invite Joanne to initiate her journey and how she began. And Joanne, what were your resistances towards Right Rich's class? And more so, what was your resistance to money?
But actually, I had no resistance to Write Riches for You class. I was actually super excited. So it was quite the opposite for me. I couldn't wait. It was quite unusual because it was in Italy. It was out of my way. I'm in Australia. And I actually as soon as I saw the class, I was like, I have to be there. I don't know how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to create this, because I have a family and a business that I work in full time, and yet my commitment to it, that came first, and then I had to
Mm,
figure out the rest. And the reason that that came up for me was because, well, I didn't really know what the class was about, but what I did, sort of the first thing that I thought of was, oh wow, consciousness with money. Like, imagine a world like my world being, with no reactions to money, or like not valuing reactions to money, no judgments on money, like just getting free with the word money and the topic of money, and every interaction I have with money, and every transaction I have with money, and
mm,
every transaction that is really large, like, like everywhere that that I have, or would, have a possibility of finding myself in reaction with. I was like, imagine getting free with that. Like, what will my life be like if I had freedom with money, like peace with money, I guess.
yeah.
Because one
Peace
of
with
the
money.
peace, yeah,
More so than anything else.
yeah. And the thing is, because I guess with transactions, I have a hair salon, so, and being quite psychic, I would always be aware of I would be aware of people's reactions to money. Like, when, like, I would just be aware of like reactions to money everywhere I went, or even when somebody would speak about money, I would just tap into their whole universe around money. So then that also triggered me to feel wrong if I wasn't the same as them, or so I noticed there was a lot of triggers in me, a lot of
Mm.
reactions in others, and trying to, like, it was like I was trying to figure out what was right, what was wrong, so I could put myself somewhere. And I was like, wow, like, it was all very crazy, right? And I was like, imagine being free of all of that, like, and also the way we do money, the way we create money, the, like,
Mm.
you know, I would constantly, because I was so psychic with tapping into what was happening in people's universe with how they felt about money, then I would use that as a way to compare myself, like whether I was, right with money when I was creating things in my life, or if I was wrong,
Mm.
if I wasn't the same as you, that I was like, oh my God, I must be wrong. So all of that insanity. Yeah. And I'm sure there's nobody else out there like that.
I went through this same, more or less the same things, but yes, when I eventually got myself landed in a Right Riches for You class, it was like I resisted it for some time because what was I aware of? All the pain around money, having to be put down for having less money, having to the whole ordeal about money and what it takes to have money. You have to look after it, right? Money might come easily, but then when I came to this class, and one after the other, as the energies were unraveling, eventually I realized like I had so much resistance to it. And the reason why I had that resistance was because, I was just like, having this PTSD around looking after money. So I'd
Totally.
rather not have money
Yeah.
because I didn't want to handle it.
Wow. Wow.
So that is where I was stuck. But once I changed that, I worked on it, because that PTSD, of course, it gets locked. Anything that is unprocessed, it gets locked in your body. And it's like being and body, which is where consciousness comes in, right?
Yeah.
And
And yeah,
when,
I guess, can you say more about that? Because I mean, like for so many people, like
yeah,
how much of their past, I guess, beliefs from where they've grown up, like all the ideas, point of views, thoughts, feelings, emotions that they've grown up with around money. Like, can you talk about that being locked in a body and what that would create? Like, what is
exactly.
that for them? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it all boils down to the family in which you have been, born to, and what initiates your journey into money and riches. Like money is just, of course, a medium for exchange, but with that comes so many things where value is attached to it, where your worth is attached to it. And what you have seen your parents growing up, you have obviously, I mean, your parents have been your gods and goddesses, right? And you have taken everything that they were going through as real and true. So, and then that puts you in confusion with, versus you having that capacity to create with total ease,
And
which
right
was
there,
your original energy,
yeah,
but
and
you
right there,
adopted your parents' energy.
exactly, yeah. And I think that's a huge one, like where you said, your parents, you've made them your God, with money, like everything you've learned. I mean, I think right there, it's right there, you've kind of like, oh, what's your reality with money? And so
Yeah.
many of us haven't even discovered our own reality with money, because right there, I think you've pretty much summed it all up so well.
Yeah,
Like, what if we were the source? Like, what
exactly.
reality would we have with money?
Absolutely. So when I started unraveling, this from my parents' reality, from my reality, and, differentiating between that, when I was not operating with the ways that my parents would operate around money. And then, I would consciously make this choice of what is my reality? Okay, let's do this in a XYZ manner. And
Yeah.
if that was fun for me, that was light for me, and I went along with that, money would just show up like that.
Mm.
But then, yes, what then happened was, the people around whom I had grown up,
Yeah.
they could not digest my having ease with that much,
Mm.
money, and having that sense of freedom around it. And that would create conflict. So then again, I noticed that I would want to, at times, fit in to their reality just to make them comfortable.
Yes, so true. Like how much of that happens. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
it's kind of like, yeah, where you're trying to fit into other people's financial realities. Like, you keep yourself small, you can't be too wealthy, money can't be too easy for you because it'll make people uncomfortable, like, especially maybe the people that are closest to you, if they're not functioning from the same financial reality. Like,
Yeah.
all of that stuff, all of that yuck stuff that we limit ourselves with and destroy ourselves with, and how does it get better? And so now, like, now that you've done Right Riches, like, what are some of your favorite tools when you're bumping into awarenesses of a funky energy with money? What would you like? What could you share with people? What's one of your favorites?
So this having consciousness around money and having consciousness around my reality versus people's reality, people around me in this current moment, and people that I have grown up with, all the authority figures, there was a tendency that I would look up to them, and me having this sense of differentiation and the fact that it's really, really important to be present, because you might differentiate, but you can differentiate only when you're present and you are aware, and then can you change it. So having presence is one of my favorite tools, because then, presence is where you are totally engaged with whatever is happening around you, and then you can change it with total ease. So that's where I noticed, money was total ease. Like these things do come up, and you tend to buy into other people's realities, but then you can change it. You don't have to be that what you're aware of. You can just be aware of it, and then what I would do, just use it to my advantage. So if I was aware of people, operating from that space, I would actually use that to create more. So, and, if manipulation wasn't wrong, how about we can use that too?
That's amazing. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, Joanne, that being said, tell me what is a Right Riches for You class, and your perspective on it.
So for me, Right Riches for You is a class that changes your reality with money. There's like all the tools of access consciousness that change your reality if you're willing to use them. They're weird, they're wacky, they're super easy. I think like it's so easy that sometimes like I think it takes, people can sort of not really like be willing to use it, and then once they do, their whole reality changes, and it's like, oh my god, it was that easy. And I think that's how it was for me. I think the tools were too easy, so it took me a while. Like it took me quite a few classes before I started to use them. But Right Riches for You definitely is a bunch of tools like to change your financial reality, with where you're not being the source, you're not having your own unique financial reality, you're not free with money, where you're making yourself wrong with money, all of that stuff. Everywhere you're unconscious with money, it's like there's just a whole lot of tools to change that and have a different reality.
So having your unique reality with money, how did you get to that?
Well, I think it was because I was quite the opposite. I wasn't willing to have my unique reality because I was so committed to being unconscious with money. I was so committed to making myself wrong and destroying myself literally with it. And money was just like really Right Riches. We talk about money, but it really like reaches out to other parts of your life, because where you're making yourself wrong, which for me, I was like committed to making myself wrong, which is where I was really strong, because it's like, if you stop making yourself wrong, what do you discover? It's like, oh my God, I'm strong. And that's where you actually discover like, your unique reality with money. But then it also ripples out into other areas of your life, like where you valued wrongness,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what future would that create for so many people, like with wherever they're making themselves wrong? And I guess it makes you, like, for me, Right Riches, it's, the willingness to be me, like to be the unique me. If there's only one of me on the planet, which there is, like my reality, and if I'm like being free from making myself wrong and being the source of my own financial reality. And it's not about like whether you have, $5 or $5 million. Like it's not about the amount. It's about like you just being you, like the freedom, being off the hook, like, and what can
Off the hook.
Yeah, after, like letting yourself off the hook, like all those judgments, all those like, where you compare yourself. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. So many, like all I hear people, like when they come to classes, they talk like you could just hear them. It's like they think they should be like maybe what somebody else is being, and it actually stops the infinite possibilities of creating a
Mm.
magical reality. It stops
Yeah,
like
because we are then so engaged in plagiarizing other people's financial reality. So that being engaged, all your energy, all your power, so-called
totally.
power, is
Yes,
employed in plagiarizing the financial reality of someone else, so that then when you look at it, oh, these are the kind of investments everyone is making, so even I should be doing that, and for that I need an X amount. But
exactly.
that leads you so much away from having your creativity and employing your energy in your life,
Yeah,
your unique perspective, and then having that, because when we be that is when we can actually be that gift in this universe, because we have our unique essence to gift. But if we don't value it,
yeah.
that's like depriving the universe of so many riches.
So well
So
said.
once you be that riches, once you be you, riches is you, and you know
Yeah.
you are a gift to the universe, and
Are
that
the
that
riches.
expands the universe so much more.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. And I hope that like everybody that is listening, like, yeah, what do they know about money, and what do they know about the riches, and what do they know? Like
Yeah,
what seed can this plant in their universe for something greater? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's one tool I want to share with everybody. Like the truth always makes you lighter. So, um, yeah, I guess I always like to say that, because whatever is light for people, I always say take what's light for you and leave what isn't. And I
Yeah.
also love to use that tool with money as well. It's like, if something's heavy, it's not true for us, and you know, yeah, turn the other way and go where it's light.
Yeah.
Ask lots of questions. Yeah. But do you have any classes coming up? Like, where can people
um,
find you, Hiral, if they like to receive more of
so
your energy?
you can find me, people can find me on my Instagram handle, which is Hiral Ghaghda, and also my website, which is www.divineyou.live. And yes, I will be posting my classes soon. As of now, I have not created, but soon to come. What
Awesome.
about you, Joanne? Where can we
Well,
find you?
yeah, I have a Right Riches for You coming up this weekend on Saturday. So there's an intro that you don't need prerequisite for that. Anybody can join that. It's for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it takes a deep dive into your financial reality. So if that speaks to anybody, I'd love to play with all of that. And
Wow.
there's also then the advanced, which goes on after that for anybody that's done Access Consciousness Foundation class.
Yeah.
And of course, like,
So, yeah, I would like to add a
curiosity.
word here about the foundation class. Again, that's a prerequisite for the beginning class for Right Riches for You. However, the foundation in and of itself is so much of a gift, and it has another set of tools, which is like, you can employ in your life, in your day-to-day life, and really like create and change anything that is not working for you. So just a little word for everyone who is listening.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Haral.
Thank you
Well,
so much.
I hope we get to have another chat sometime soon and share some more like fun tools for people. And
Absolutely. So we'll be coming up with different topics, and let's see what fun we can have.
yeah, great. Thank you. And
Thank
thank
you
you
so
everybody
much.
for listening.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.